down under, but that is not. This is the land of ocean, seas, and volcanoes. Hawaii, the place of just pure peace and tranquility. My friend, I come back saying everyone should go. If you ever have the time or place to go, make a trip, take the chance, sit on a beach in Hawaii. Brandon, I know you've been.
Hawaii.
I went to a luau and I was told it was Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
You just gotta say it weird, and that's how you say it.
You just gotta say all the words weird, and you're talking Hawaiian.
Exactly.
We did this thing called, folks. I just came back from a little trip in Hawaii. Did a half marathon. Did a whole little engagement celebration out there. It was a vibe. So this is what the whole get up is. If you're just listening, I have a lay over me and some dark shades in a dark room, so you know I'm fucking around here. All right. But what I say is we were talking about sliders, eating good food. I think the best thing I had out there was this thing called Loco Moco, which is
that your first time trying that?
Dude, first time trying it.
Bro,
it was
they're so good.
Unbelievable. Folks, if you haven't had it, it is rice with either pork or steak, but I got a steak with mine, a sirloin steak, and then the egg topped on it with this like gravy that they somehow all make.
The gravy is what makes it, dude. So the original Loco Moco is just, it's the egg, rice, and it's like a ground beef patty, almost like a burger patty. That's like the just straight up basic Loco Moco.
Yeah.
Shit's gas, dude.
Oh, I was in heaven. But I'll report back saying the half marathon, your boy cramped up in mile 11 again. So
like half, you're almost done when it cramped up.
Yeah. I was almost done again. This is back-to-back half marathons, folks, where I was on mile 11, almost done, and cramped hard. Not just like, oh, I feel twinge. No, I cramped so hard that my foot locked up and I almost tripped and fell on the concrete.
Oh my god!
It was a bad cramp, and I had to hop around to kind of make it go away, and then your boy just struggle bust to the end. So, here's the thing. I'll give you this little update, and we'll get into the NFL draft here. But the first two half marathons I did, killed them both. Good times and didn't cramp. And guess what I had on? I had those compression pants on. So I didn't have that for the last two times, and I think that's the whole issue. So, folks, if you're listening and you're wondering, should I get compression pants? Will they help me from the source at least? I'll tell you this. The compression pants seem to be the difference here. So just a little shout out to compression pants makers out there in the world. Keep doing your thing. Keep helping people's legs out there. You're doing the Lord's work. But let's get into it, Brandon. I'm going to share my screen as we do ever so often on this show now. And we're going to go team by team, check out who they drafted in all their rounds, and just grade them, shoot the shit, see what we think. Are they risking it? What's going on? So first up, is Arizona Cardinals. So Arizona Cardinals, a little background. Really the only thing they have going for them besides, disgruntled DeAndre Hopkins is their quarterback who is coming off an ACL surgery, and Kyler Murray. Got a brand new head coach. And they have a little bit of iffy stuff going on with the owner out there. People saying that he might be doing business not in the right way. But hey, that's America, folks, where everyone does that shit. Wake up. You can see it all around. Okay, so their first pick, they did some trading. Obviously, they traded out of their original pick. But they did round 1, pick 6, and they went Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle. I don't know too much about the man, but what I do know is that you need to have enough guys that are able to block for your franchise quarterback. So if you're getting a high-priced offensive lineman, I think I was watching some of the draft coverage, and he can move. He can really move. So I think it could be a good pick. And Arizona's got to really prove their mettle here a little bit with just some of the downsliding they've had over the past couple of years. So what do you think? What do you think about Arizona's first-round pick, at least?
Yeah, I think it was a good pick because it didn't. He was arguably the best tackle in this draft class, besides maybe the tackle out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was the guy who Kyler Murray was asking to draft. Before the draft, he was asking he was drafting Paris Johnson left tackle. That's what he wanted. And instead of even taking that 3, they made that trade with the Texans and they got him at 6. So
Got
I
it.
mean, they got to trade out of their spot, and they still got the guy they wanted. It's like ideal for them. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they definitely, this is a guy who's going to be ready to play day one. And it's a need from day one. So those are two things that, in your first round pick, you kind of want to take care of. You don't want to take too many chances with the first round and take a flyer, because most teams kind of need a plug and play kind of guy when you're drafting higher up in the first round, like the Cardinals were. They went on to get a linebacker and cornerback, second and third round. We got BJ Ajulari and Garrett Williams. I wish we'd get some team where they played for the college here. NFL, what's this? NFL TR. This is the only website that I could find a full breakdown of each team. I would pull up ESPN, but those guys were just showing me pick by pick, and we want the whole team, Brandon. We want the whole pick, pan, and caboodle. You know what I'm saying? So Cardinals, I think, are just, it looked like they went defensive heavy because they didn't have the best defense last year. They have some guys who can really move in that cornerback position, and losing J.J. Watt on the front end. So maybe they're trying to shore up the backside with his corner and get another really good guy in the middle to call out some of those plays for the defense and a linebacker with BJ. Do you know anything about these men that I've said about here, Brandon? Any word about who they are?
I don't know anything about anyone after Paris Johnson, to be honest.
Yeah.
When like most majority of people, unless you're like Mel Kiper and those guys, everyone past round one, no one really knows. Maybe round
It's
two, a little bit of people. Like round two, I knew a little bit of people, but after round two, I will not know anyone. It's like,
yeah. After round two goes, it's really like who's, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Am I frozen, Brandon?
Move your
Am I
hand. No, you're good.
How about the screen? Are we moving here still? Are we still
Yeah,
live?
yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I mean, they had a couple picks in the fifth and sixth, so they had to really. That's just trying to see who's gonna, maybe flash.
Yeah,
We all know that there's some good late round picks that have come out, and it's usually not some team or some scout going, "This is the next guy. Just wait till the fifth round." It's never usually that. It's usually just
yeah,
someone like, man, fuck that. I'm drafting in the fifth round. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show all these
yeah.
motherfuckers. That's usually how they get a good player. So moving on, Arizona Cardinals. Well, I guess moving on. What do we give their grade? They get the offensive lineman. They go linebacker, corner. They get a wide receiver too with their third round pick. So they had 2 third-round picks in the second. I'm gonna give them a B. I'm gonna give them a B.
I'm gonna give them an A minus just because of when they traded out of that spot to the Texans, they
Right.
got the Texans' first round pick for next year. So
Okay.
they'll have two
Yeah,
first round picks in the next year.
we got
So
that up.
imagine they finish the bottom like fourth of the league, and then the
Yep.
Texans also do bad. They'll get too high. Like they could get two inside the top 10 next year if they play.
Again.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
No, that's a
because of
good
that, I'll
point.
give them an A minus.
I think, Brandon, you got to keep me honest here. I think you might know a little more about the trades that were going on and all that kind of stuff. So that's a good point. You got to look at these, give these draft grades out in a holistic way, not just the player, because we don't know what the player is going to be, but maybe about what the deals that were done to get the player. Like you said, they made some trades out of their original spot, got some more capital, and still probably got the guy that they even wanted the whole time. So
Exactly. Yeah.
cool. A minus. I gave him a B. I'm leaning more towards the A area because of what Brandon said. So let's move on to the hot Atlanta Falcons. God damn, with the 8th pick, they took running back from Texas, Bijan Robinson. Me and Brandon, more so Brandon, he's been on this guy from day one. He wanted him on the Eagles. Brandon wanted him on the Chargers. Brandon thought he could go anywhere, plug and play, and he ends up in hot Atlanta. Again, I'll keep referring back to their starting quarterback, Desmond Ridder. I don't know about that. So this could be a really fun year or a really shitty year for young Bijan. And I already see Matthew Berry ranking him in the top 10 of next year's fantasy rankings. So people are on the Kool-Aid. People have fully sipped the Kool-Aid. What say you about Bijan going to Atlanta?
Bijan he's gonna be an all
Yeah.
world talent. He's gonna be the next guy. As long as I mean, they're going to use him right. Arthur Smith he came from Tennessee,
Yep.
so he's a guy who essentially didn't make Derrick Henry, but the guy who began to run him into the ground like the Tennessee Titans do, and
Sure.
that's exactly what he's going to do with Bijan. Yeah, they had Tyler Algier last year who rushed for like 1,000 yards, but Bijan's draft capital at being in the first round, the top 8 pick,
That's big.
it's not going to matter for Tyler Algier who was a 5th round pick last year. I mean, Tyler Algier is definitely going to be compliment him, but Bijan's definitely going to get the majority of the workload because he can play 3 down back. He's a 3 down back. He can catch
Yeah.
and he can run. So it's like I expect him to have a minimum this year of like I'm saying 1,300 yards
Yeah.
and like probably close to 10 touchdowns.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's very obvious when you put on the tape that this guy is one of those like next level talents just from the fast twitch of how he makes his cuts. And just, there's always a couple guys each year that come out and just everyone's kind of talking about him. You don't know is it real or not. And I was one of those, like you kept telling me about him and I just didn't really like sold. But then I just really watched more and I'm like, man, he looks like LT a little bit with his cuts. Like he
Yeah,
just,
bro.
yeah, it's
Everyone's comparing to LT, Edgerrin James, all like Hall of
yeah,
Fame essentially.
yeah, dude. He looks very old time, but just like very still modern with the quickness and be able to catch the ball out of the backfield and shit like that.
Yeah.
Atlanta then went Matthew Bergeron, offensive guard. I know Atlanta had some troubles, and they have a couple of like I forget who they had, but I know they went high on offensive linemen a couple years back, and that guy's coming up on his last year of the contract. God is escaping me. But then they went 3rd round, Zach Harrison, defensive end. They kind of swing and miss on defensive ends a couple times. I think they draft Dante Fowler a couple years back early, and just I don't know, they just haven't really been able to hit on a good defensive end in a while. So again, as these later picks go on, folks, me and Brandon don't know much. But looking at what they did in the first round, there is a method of drafting where some teams just don't even go running back until later on, and they said, "Fuck it,
Yeah.
we're
They've
going
gone three
early."
years 3 years in a row where they drafted the best player at their position. They Pitts, Drake London, and then Bijan. So right now at skill position, they're really just missing a QB.
Honestly, yeah.
And I mean, I watched the favorites podcast today, and they said that Falcons were heavily in conversations trying to get Tannehill during the draft, as
Uh-huh.
well as they were trying to potentially. This is all like rumor, but they said that also trying to get Kyler Murray.
Who?
The Falcons.
Oh, the Falcons. They're trying to get
Falcons, yeah.
Ryan Tannehill too.
Yeah, they're trying to get one of the guys. They have, like I said, they have all the pieces around. They just need fucking a quarterback. And
Yep.
they're not sure if Desmond Ritter's that guy.
Yeah, and I think we've covered it through the free agent. Some of the free agent podcasts we've done. Atlanta's been out there signing people. Like not just offensively but defensively. They're like equipped to kind of take over that NFC South, where there's no real leader when you
Yep,
look at
yeah.
the Saints, when you look at the Panthers, when you look at like it's a division up for grabs 100%, 100%. So
Guess their over under for wins this year. What their line is set at?
8.5.
Yeah, spot on 8.5.
Bam, baby. I fucking knew that's like, and that to me is the epitome of the Atlanta Falcons. That an 8.5 over under. If they go into the season with Desmond Ritter, which it seems like they just might, I might take the under because then they might just realize midway through the year, like maybe we can get Caleb Williamson with these guys,
But
and then that could be it.
yeah, that's the only thing to think of why they wouldn't get over 8.5 is because they're trying to tank. Because
Exactly.
realistically, last year they had 7 wins. So I think they could easily get 2 more wins. But
Exactly.
it's just depending on what if they want to get a good quarterback of the future. Not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Just with his talent alone, I'm gonna give the Atlanta Falcons I'm gonna give him a B. I'm gonna give him a B. Give him a B. Atlanta's got a B.
Yeah, I'll give them a B too. That sounds about good.
Baltimore Ravens. Right off the top, congratulations, Baltimore. You figured it the fuck out and signed Lamar Jackson. That was probably the biggest thing that could have happened to them. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. Because now they got their quarterback, and now they got a fully bought in Lamar Jackson. And we saw it before he got that contract. Like when he's really out there trying his full and effort, he could be, if not one of like he could be 1 and 2, right up there with with Patty. He's just got that much intangibles, and if he can get that arm really right. They also signed Odell Beckham Jr., and their first round pick was the speedster Zay Flowers. I said to you, he gives me Jalen Reagor vibes, but you quickly squashed that, Brandon. Tell me a little bit about Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers, he's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be a good complement to OBJ and Bateman. Bateman on the outside and the speedster. OBJ probably a little bit more of the route runner, and then you're gonna have him inside as a slot. He's not a big receiver. I think he's like barely 6 foot, but he's shifty and he's aggressive and he's like a he reminds me of like kind of like a Steve Smith kind of player. He's kind of like around that same size. He's got that same like tenacity, you know what I mean? He's not afraid to go over you and like he's not afraid of contact. And I think that's a really good pickup for Baltimore. I think they're gonna have a good receiving option between Andrews, Bateman, if he stays healthy, OBJ if he stays healthy, and Zay Flowers. I think the Ravens are going to be dirty next year. I think J.K. Dobbins, you really saw J.K. Dobbins at the end of last year start to get back to where he was before he got injured. And I think if J.K. Dobbins and Lamar Jackson can stay healthy and their receivers can stay healthy, they're going to be a dangerous team in the AFC. I could see them making a deep push into AFC playoffs, like AFC championship type game.
Yes. That's a team where I think we're all going to look like a couple weeks into the season and be like, oh shit, like they're just the Ravens again. Like this might be a new look where it's not just Lamar, Mark Andrews or bust. Like now they got an arsenal, and I don't feel like there's been some talent in Baltimore, but Harbaugh's never really had the chance to just let it loose and kind of figure out what kind of offense he can let it rip with.
I think like the regular season, they really just gotta like limit the amount of hits that Lamar's taken. A lot of context. Like I honestly don't think that offense, like the running backs are so good. Like he doesn't even need to really run. The running game could be so good with just the running backs, like and just the fear of Lamar running, like the RPOs.
A lot, yeah.
I just feel like just save his running, like his actual like scrambling to the fucking playoffs, and I feel like
exactly
goes into the playoffs healthy. I just feel like it's a better situation.
100%. If you can get him into the playoffs with little to no, real solid hits on his body, besides just the normal wear and tear of being a quarterback, you automatically, as the Ravens, become that much more ready to make a deep run and really become a player,
Yeah, I feel that.
Trenton Simpson and Tavius Robinson were their 3rd and 4th round picks, inside linebacker, defensive end. Then they went corner and double O line to clear it out. I like the fit with Zay Flowers. A little bit of a prove it. They kind of didn't do too much in this draft. So they didn't do anything bad though. So I'm gonna give them a B+ because the fit.
Yeah, I agree with that. B+.
B+. We're out here giving B's, motherfuckers. B's are for the Buffalo Bills. One team where I felt like there wasn't much pizzazz, huzzah around them this draft day or that draft day was the Buffalo Bills. It could be something to be said that they are just already such a solid team. They weren't going to go out and make a real bang in the draft because they didn't need to. They did draft tight end with the Dalton Kincaid or is it Kincaid? What do we do? Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid. And he was talked about going early, and he did. 25th pick. They already have Dawson Knox there, so they're probably going to go a lot of 11-man package, 2 tight end sets there in Buffalo. And they're going to just probably lean more on that 2 wide receiver where it's Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis out there, really burners, and then you got your 2 tight ends who are just really, really good, trying to do a little bit of Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. But this could be the beginning of maybe a really good duo out there in Buffalo. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was getting nervous because I really thought Dalton Kincaid was about to drop to the Chiefs, and I just saw Dalton Kincaid he's like a reincarnated like Travis Kelce. And I was like, I swear to God, they get another fucking tight end like Kelce for the next fucking 10 years. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
Oh man, they could have just.
But yeah, Kincaid coming out of Utah, he's probably the best tight end in the draft, if not the second best.
Yeah.
But he's shiftiness. He's not like necessarily a blocking tight end. He's more so just purely like he's like a Kelsey. He's like a purely like receiving type of tight end.
Right. Just
I
like
think he's
more.
just gonna adding another weapon to the Buffalo Bills offense, which I think is what they needed to.
Yeah, and then they got an offensive guard, which again, second round. So that's some good draft capital on a guard there. Trying to shore up what they have already there on that offensive line. Dorian Williams, linebacker, third round pick. Then they drafted fifth and seventh round twice. So, I like that they went tight end. Did they need tight end? I don't know. There could be a argument to be said that there's maybe other needs out there for the Buffalo Bills to get over the hump. So I'm going to give them a C plus.
Yeah, I think they went for that tight end because at that point all the receivers who had first round like
Right.
potential already had gone. So I think him just being a purely receiving tight end, I feel like that was the closest thing they could have got to receiving weapon for him. So I
Sure.
think that's kind of why they went with him.
Sure.
But I give them probably a B plus.
BP plus. Okay. All right. Buffalo Bills. You're moving on. Now we're going to the Carolina Panthers. We knew for a while kind of what this pick was going to be. They traded up to draft quarterback Alabama Bryce Young. It was never really a big surprise, and I know watching the ESPN coverage, it was kind of like they were just giving him his flowers before he was even drafted, and the kid did show a lot in Alabama. With Frank Wright, this could be a really good marriage. That Frank Wright seems to always bring the best out of his quarterbacks. We can kind of take out a little bit of Matt Ryan's tenure with Reich last year with the Colts before he got fired. But the thing here is how much does he now have around him? Just because they did lose DJ Moore, and that was obviously that team's just really their best. I mean, maybe even player offensively, maybe even defensively. He might be their best player on their team before that. So it could be a little risky out there. But what am I missing here, Brandon? Do we like this pick? Do we not? Like what's going on?
I mean, I feel like you have to like the pick as far as being a Carolina Panther because like they just hadn't been able to get the QB position right.
Yeah.
And not to say obviously his size is an issue, but
Sure.
everything else is perfect. If everyone was saying like if Bryce Young were like 3 inches taller, he'd obviously be a number easily hands down like the best quarterback,
Right.
the number one pick. No one would have ever been second guessing it.
Sure.
It's just the fact he's small and he's going to be able to last these NFL hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
But
that's true.
everything else is there. Everything else is there.
Yeah. Who are we looking at skill wise for the Panthers? Who do they got?
They got so they added Miles Sanders.
That's
They just
right.
drafted Jonathan Mingo. This guy is Ole Miss. He's a tall, athletic guy. Some people think that they kind of reached for this guy, but
Uh-huh.
they obviously wanted him because of his size and athleticism. But also they picked up Thielen in the offseason. They picked up DJ
That's right.
Stark, and they
Yeah,
have Terrace Marshall still on the team. So I mean, they've got weapons that they got some veterans in there. They got
sure.
some young guys. So I mean, it's just how Frank Reich's gonna utilize them in the offense. I mean,
Yeah. And I know they did also get Hayden Hurst. So yeah, it's just gonna be obviously a growing year. And
yeah,
they're gonna also I think they're just gonna have to figure out what is his because what you do best in college might not translate, right? So we need to find out what you do best with NFL speed because it's a little bit different.
yeah.
So I give him. You traded a lot for him. He's not generational. We do have some questions about size. The team isn't superstars around him where it's like they'll elevate him. I give them a C plus.
Give them a B.
A B. B's on this bitch. All right, cool. Carolina Panthers. You've been graded. Chicago Bears. The Bears, they drafted 10th. And I believe that the Eagles swapped with. Okay, so they were 9th and they went 10th, right?
Yeah,
So Eagles traded up. over them. And Eagles later on, and you know what they did for the trade up? They swapped the picks, and then the Eagles gave them just a random fourth. It was one of the compensation picks they got from the fucking Arizona Cardinals tampering with Jonathan Gannon. So Howie Roseman put on his binoculars and just zapped on this fucking Chicago Bears. But we're not talking about the Eagles right now, okay? We're talking about the Chicago Bears. They drafted offensive lineman Darnell Wright. The dude can move. Those combine videos were legitimate. He looked good, and what do they need out there the most? I know Justin Fields kind of protects himself with running using his legs, but you need a really, really good offensive line if you want to keep that franchise quarterback just upright.
Exactly.
So that was probably a good pick. And then they went defensive tackle, and then they went cornerback with 53 and 56 in the second round. So they know that they lost a couple guys last year and kind of shedding some contracts during it. And, Roquan Smith to the Ravens, and the Eagles even got one of their big named dudes before he just kind of got hurt and hasn't been able to play. But the Bears needed to load up, so they kind of did. And, I feel like they had a ton of picks here. They had literally the season like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 picks almost. So, geez, I don't know half the names up here, but they're really hoping this fucking draft comes through for them, because that's a lot of picks not to maybe combine some and really try and trade out and do something else,
Yeah. The one pick I really love on this is they got a sneaky good pick, round 4, Roschon Johnson from Texas. He was a guy who backed up Bijan Robinson. So we didn't get to see a lot of him, but whenever he was on the field, he was super efficient, and a lot of people think that he could potentially steal the starter role for this backfield over Khalil Herbert.
All right.
So he's definitely one to watch. I think people were saying that he could potentially be this year's Dameon Pierce if he gets enough reps on the field.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Bears, you've always kind of been a little bit wishy-washy with how you go about doing business, and just from I don't know, I'm giving them a C. That's what I'm doing. That's what I don't need to explain too much more. They're getting a C. What do you got?
I give him a B, just a B.
Okay. Cincinnati Bengals, moving on. NFC North, the Bengals, who dey? First pick, round 1, first pick. Their 28th was the 20th pick, sorry. And it was Myles Murphy, defensive end. Bengals are solidly set up on the offensive side, even with a little bit of kind of question marks for their backfield of will they keep their starter there, or will they kind of figure it out? And that'll play itself out with Joe Mixon. But defensively, you are always going to be against the Chiefs. You're always going to be playing against the Chargers. You're always going to be playing against, all those big name teams out there in the AFC. So what you need always is a good defensive line, and a defensive end for the Cincinnati Bengals makes sense. Good job.
Hell yeah. I think that was a good. I like that pick by them.
Yeah.
Myles Murphy.
So
I think everyone was thinking like for them to take some offensive piece,
right,
like a tight end, I think,
right,
like a running back, and then you just said, "Nah, we're fucking chilling. We're gonna solidify our defensive line and get a fucking beast from this guy from Clemson."
I love it. Yeah, and they went corner and safety because Jordan Battle too. I've heard some good things, especially through the whole draft process. And, they did lose Jesse Bates. So they're hoping he can come in and maybe make some noise. 4th round flyer on a Charlie Johnson wide receiver. Cincinnati, it looks like they really mix it up well. I'm giving them a B+.
Yeah. I like that. But, I'm gonna give him one more. I'm gonna give him A-.
A-. Fuck yeah, Cincinnati. You're making moves. I was giving C's until you came around. All right. Moving on. Cleveland Browns. Their first pick was in the third round, 74th pick, Cedric Tillman, wide receiver. They're going to be kind of living on this Deshaun Watson and some of the bad business they've done that's come before him. So the Browns really hope that Deshaun Watson is back to normal next year, because that is literally their whole team. I mean, they do have their running back, Chubb, and they still have the backup Kareem Hunt too, which it's always kind of like will he, won't he leave, and then they always
Well,
seem to.
Hunt is actually a free agent, so Hunt is not technically on their team.
Okay, so see, there we go. So this is not too much to talk about here with the Cleveland Browns. I don't even feel like I should grade them because I don't know what the fuck any of these people are.
If let's just say Deshaun Watson doesn't work out, Dorian Thompson-Robinson though he was a thug at UCLA. He was he was a thug, bro.
That's true, and then I mean, if he'll be learning behind him and just kind of picking up on some of those things.
His play style is like if you watch him play, it's similar to Watson. He's like he can pass and he likes to rush. He's very athletic. His comp is probably Deshaun Watson, honestly. Yeah, if he had a comp.
Yeah. Okay. Hell yeah. I'm gonna go off what grade you kind of give. What did you think? I don't know what I'd give them.
I mean, they didn't have a pick to round 3, so I mean, I'll give them like a B plus.
Okay. Give them a B, straight B. No, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm giving them a C minus. Because you know why? Because the Cleveland Browns, until further notice, you are on the shit list of just like organizationally wise mess. Okay, you're C minus. I don't even trust your picks. Sorry. Besides the Dorian Thompson, but that was a late round flyer. Don't come crying to me. All right. Next. What do we got? Dallas Cowboys. The boys making some noise. Mozzie Smith was their first round, the 26th pick by the Dallas Cowboys. Then they went second round, Luke Schoonmaker, tight end, which I think is a good pick out there in Dallas. They always seem to get some good tight ends. Third round was DeMarvion Overshawn. Some of these names, my folks, are just fucking crazy. Third round linebacker, and then Viliami Fahoko, defensive end. So again, another team that they're professional. The Cowboys are a professional organization. Jerry Jones has been doing this for longer than me and you have been alive combined. I really do think so. So it's just they're a professional organization, folks. And if you haven't seen the meme of them with the bad people from Star Wars and the layers at the draft room, what the Cowboys look like was just a terrible Star Wars recreation looking like. It really is like dun 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 dun. Okay, Cowboys, never really liked you, never will like you. And as long as you have that meddling 90-year-old in there, I don't think great. Really don't.
Come on, man. Meddling 90-year-old.
Meddling 90-year-old. Get the man some soup, read him a good story, and tell him about the glory days. Brush him off. Anyways, Brandon, Cowboys, what do you think?
I like to, even though Mozzie Smith it's not a sexy pick, but it's something they definitely needed to do. They needed they needed a big D lineman to help stop the run because they kind of struggled with that last year.
Yeah.
And then their round 2 pick tight end, they needed to kind of help bring some more love into that tight end room because they lost Dalton Schultz. They're going into the season with their starting tight end going to be Ferguson, which I don't know if he could take that whole role. I thought they were going to draft a different tight end. I thought they were going to go more aggressively, like maybe in the first round with the tight end, but I guess not. But I would like to say though, the class act they had when they drafted the running back Deuce Vaughn when they had his dad call him because his dad. I don't know if you saw that, right?
That was cool. That was very cool.
He's like, "You want to come to work with me, son?"
Yeah, that was very fucking cool.
That was a class act. I don't know if it'll work out because he's a small running back. He's really small, but
yeah,
hopefully,
and that's a moment he'll never forget. His father will never forget. It's a cool. That is where sports just is awesome. It really, really is awesome. So, Cowboys, you're professional as fuck. I do trust the picks you've made. You have drafted some of the most, I think, some of the best players that kind of played in the league. So I'm going to give you just off past history and some needs and fit. I'm giving you a B plus.
I'm gonna give them a C plus.
Brandon finally giving out a C. Okay, C plus, B plus. Moving on. D is for Denver Broncos. Another one where their first pick was in the second round. Pick 63 was Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims was their 63rd pick, and then they kind of snaked it, came back round 3 with the 67 pick, and went Drew Sanders, linebacker. Had another one in the third round, 83rd pick, not too far after that. So Riley Moss. So they really had a three pick slamma jamma there. So they were probably stressing, doing so much homework over those fucking 3 picks, man, because they knew it was bop, bop, bop. And if this guy went, then we got it. Because I don't think there was too much trading going on. They don't have too much capital there in Bronco land. So they had to make the most out of those picks. You know what I'm saying? So do you know much about these picks here? Do you have much of opinion here, Brandon?
No, I mean the Seahawks got most of these guys good picks. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
The receiver, he's we'll be curious to see how he does.
Yeah.
He's a little he's not undersized, but he's not like prototypical.
5'11", 183, Oklahoma. I found something on here. He goes
he's not like.
He goes, Mims is, like you said, Brandon, look at you. Mims is an undersized receiver who runs well, sells double moves, and tracks the ball deep well. He has the burst to produce after the catch and flashes as a punt returner. Mims lacks polish as an intermediate route runner, but he has the potential to make strides at an area that are tough matchup working out of the slot. So he's quick, he's fast. Maybe this guy is the Jalen Reagor vibes I was feeling after all. But Broncos, they do kind of need a little bit of that burner. They do have Jerry Jeudy and some of those boys out there who they really do have a good core. But this guy could, he doesn't bring too much baggage with him in the sense of it being a first-round pick with the money and all that kind of stuff that goes with it when they already have so much going on with Russ and just that team. So Marvin Mims could be a good pick. But
Broncos country, let's fuck.
Broncos country, y'all fucked. No, I'm kidding.
I'll give him a B minus.
B minus. You know what? I'm following. I'm gonna tell you. B minus 2. B minus for the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos. We're moving on. Detroit Lions. This one is where it gets a little interesting, folks.
Yes.
Detroit first round pick Jahmyr Gibbs, running back. What? You already kind of have a really good backfield even after you lost Williams, Jamal Williams too. I think they went to the Saints. So Jahmyr Gibbs, and then they went Jack Campbell. Jahmyr obviously has the moves and is quick, but I mean to draft the second best running back with your 12th pick seems a little odd. He's out of Alabama though, Brandon. You know what they say. You know what they say about them Alabama boys, man.
Running back you is what they call him.
So Jahmyr Gibbs and the linebacker Jack Campbell. What do you know? I don't know much about Jack, but what about Jahmyr Gibbs?
I think these were picks that the consensus people didn't love, but the Lions as an organization, they love these picks. I don't know why, but this is what they wanted. I guess apparently the Lions had gotten word that because the Lions had 2 picks in the first round, so they had gotten word that Gibbs was not going to be there in their second pick in the first round. So I think they reached not a little, they reached a lot to get him because they wanted him. And I think the organizations they're just not sold on Swift. I don't know if it's his running style. He just doesn't run aggressively, assertively. He has the talent to be super great. It's just the way he runs. He doesn't run like if Pacheco had the same. If Pacheco and Swift were meshed together like that running style, they'd be the fucking top 5 running back.
Yeah.
But Swift doesn't have that tenacity that a guy like Pacheco has. So I think they just kind of start a new slate. Just get their hands rid of Swift, draft a rookie, have him on have him for another. This guy's gonna be on the team for 4 years until they have to pay him.
Yep, honestly,
and
talk about that. Yeah,
and then Jack Campbell, I don't really know a lot. That's most of the same thing. I think that's just Iowa. Iowa's defense has been good for the past 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So I imagine he had a big deal with a big part of that being a linebacker.
Right.
The pick I do love, I actually love the next 3 picks from the Lions. I love Sam Laporta. I had Sam Laporta, who's probably my second rated tight end as far as receiving tight end. like after Kincaid.
Yeah.
He'll fill the role that they lost when they lost Hawkinson. Like
Right.
I'll love him if you're a fantasy player. I love Sam Porter next year for fantasy.
Sam Laporta, Chris Route Runner, who drops his weight, who drops his weight, accelerates out of the breaks and creates late separation with body positioning. All right.
He gives me Kittle vibes, bro. Because I don't know if you know. Also, Iowa's like a fucking powerhouse for fucking producing fucking tight ends. Like Kittle came out of. I'm pretty sure Kittle went to Iowa. Hawkinson went to Iowa. This guy's from Iowa. This guy just fucking gets a whole bunch of yak. He gets a shit ton of yards after catch.
Yeah, and then they got the first position rank for this, like, for safety. Yeah, I mean, the high rated.
Yeah, I thought Brian Branch was a guy who could have gone in the first round. He was at the in Kansas City to potentially get called in the first round. I thought he was going to go first round.
Yeah.
He's like a good, like he can play I think it's either nickel or dime, I forget. But he's a versatile like safety. He can play DB. He can play like press. He'll be good. And then Hendry Hooker is like, I think that's just, I don't know. Maybe it's like if they can't get a deal done with Goff, because I think Goff's last year and his contract is next year.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker was an interesting one, but it's also late enough in the round where, Goff's not like, oh, what the fuck? And he's got that injury he's coming off of. So
exactly, yeah.
You know what? Detroit, you get an A- for just really saving your ass here and saving your ass here. Because you know what? Gosh darn it. Picking 12 and picking a running back, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's a high pick. You better hope that man is fucking Saquon Barkley. And how many of Saquon Barkleys have we in this world? Folks, it's hard to get a running back, and usually you get him late. So for him to go, and we know Bijan Robinson, I mean, barring injury or some stupid-ass offensive play schemes, Bijan's a stud. So you really hope and pray, and you freaking cross those fingers if I'm Detroit. But I'm giving you an A-.
Yeah, I'll second that, A-.
Okay. Moving on, Green Bay Packers. Lucas Van Ness, defensive end, was their first pick, and he's a big man, but I'm hearing that he a little raw still. And I mean, to go 13 seems a little high, but the dude has all the intangibles, 6'5", 272. It says here that Van Ness is a special combination of speed, length, power. His ability to get into the paths of offensive linemen and drive them back to the quarterback with ease stands out on tape. He also flashes good swipe and chop moves. I guess he even he wasn't even like a full-time starter either. So there's a little bit of question marks in the sense of like, is he ready? Is he going to be ready to come out? And Green Bay is another one of those teams who this draft here is going to be big for them because they had a shit ton of picks. They had looks like 4 7th-round picks, 2 6th round, 2 5th round, 1 4th, 1 3rd, 2 2nd rounds, and a 1st round. So heavy on the draft. But they usually pick pretty well. And their 2nd round pick for tight end, the 3rd round, Jaden Reed. I think Jaden Reed could be year one really really good on that team.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really necessarily love the Packers draft.
Yeah,
I would really like to see them get a receiver with that first pick. JSN was still on the board at 13. I think it just, I get it. Packers have been known to, they never draft receivers early just because they develop them and they usually get production out of the guys that they drafted later. So it's like, I feel like they kind of know what they do well, so you're kind of just sticking with it. But I mean, still, I'd love to see take one big swing. You got a new quarterback. Give him some help. Give him a top receiver. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and I guess they're really crossing their fingers on Christian Watson, and Romeo, wasn't it?
Dobbs. Yeah, because their wide receiver group is going to be so young now. It's Christian Watson, Dobbs, fucking Toure, some fucking other no names that no one knows, and all these fucking rookies. Like it's going to be there's going to be a whole bunch of rookies in that wide receiver room.
Isn't me Green Bay who's in the Green Bay what's like
Green Bay Greens.
You mean Greens? They're so green. They ain't never been playing before. They never played before. Green Bay, you're getting C+ on the draft.
Yeah, I'll second that. C+.
C+. Green Bay next up. Houston Texans. Houston Texans, they tried to come out there and steal the show, didn't they?
They did.
They came out. They did their pick, second pick, C.J. Stroud, quarterback, and then they traded up right after that to get Will Anderson Jr. Will Anderson Jr. from all accounts is like an absolute stud of a human, absolute stud of a player. But to give up that much to go quarterback, linebacker seems like a lot. And CJ Stroud, like I like him a lot, I do, but I feel like he could be a bust a little bit. I'm getting bust vibes from CJ Stroud. I don't know. I need to see it. I'm gonna need to see some more in the NFL level with really fast speed and like the how they call plays in the NFL is much different. Just the cadence and the length of the play call is insane sometimes. Have you ever seen that video of oh god, the guy they call Chucky? What's his name? Remember he used to be on the ESPN calls. He used to be Raiders head coach, Buccaneers head coach.
Oh, Gruden.
John Gruden. He's talking to Chris Sims, and he's like, Spider 2, like, says all this crazy shit. And Sims is like so rattled, he can't even repeat it back to the players in the huddle because it's just so long. So I need to see a little more. I need to see a little more.
And that's, I mean, there's a reason. It's historical. Ohio State quarterbacks have not done good in the NFL for a while.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If ever, you know.
Yep.
It's so different when you're throwing people who are wide open.
Exactly.
And then when you're not going to have the best receiver, you're not going to have the best line. You're going to be on one of the worst teams. So it's really going to be a big step up of competition. I feel like for CJ Stroud, but I think he's up for the challenge. I know he's a competitive guy. I still like the whole like the back-to-back picks. They're trying to with D'Amico Ryan. They're trying to change the culture there. Let them know that we're not tanking anymore. We're trying to fucking win now. You know what I mean?
Yep. And even their second round pick with Juice Scruggs, like center, that man was huge. I remember seeing his tape and just being like, "Oh my god, what a fucking beast!" And then Nathaniel, like, really, CJ Stroud, you better step your ass up. Will Anderson, I feel like he's going to be an absolute dominator year one. I really like that man already. I'm giving these boys a B-.
I'm gonna give a solid B for bold. How bold they were. B for bold.
B for bold. That's how bold because they were how bold they were. I love it. Houston Texans, B for bold. Indianapolis Colts, a little bit of a shocker. Colts, my friends, they came out and took the wild card, who has literally all the mechanics to be a fucking stud. Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida, with their fourth pick. If you see him on tape, he flashes. The dude is no joke, but he's just super raw, very, 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 very raw. So, but there is the bones of the Indianapolis Colts are completely there. Kind of with the running back already with that, what was previously known as such a dominant offensive line and a really good defense. That really last year was just lacking that consistency at the quarterback position. So if Anthony Richardson can come in and show out and show up, this team year one could make some serious noise and make some bettors lose their mind, folks. We don't forget, we're betting content, folks. We're betting content. So here, Brandon, Indianapolis Colts, not just the first pick. What do you think? They did some work here, bro. The cornerback was a good pick. So was Josh Downs in the second and third round. So what do you think?
I think I like the bold pick on Richardson. I think
I do too.
I don't know. I actually have a feeling he's going to be the best quarterback from this draft class.
Yeah.
I really think him going to the Colts is his best landing spot because it's Shane Steichen. Everything that Shane Steichen has touched has been chef's kiss,
Chef's kiss, bro, for sure.
He was with my boy Herbie.
Yeah.
Herbie came into the league. Look what he did. Got Jalen. Look what he did.
Yep.
It's not going to be an instant product with Richardson, but I think it's going to be. I think it's there. Man, what really made me like Richardson, I had never heard him talk, and then when I heard him talk, like the draft day, like they're doing behind like the scenes talking about or whatever. like listening to him talk, he gives me Jalen Hurts vibes. He
Right.
seems like a
Yeah.
professional. He seems like
Yep.
a future franchise quarterback. It just needs a skill level and accuracy and stuff like that to get there, along with his mindset. You know what I mean?
100%. I
But
give him an A. I think Colts
yeah,
get an A.
I'll give it A minus. I like it though. I really like it.
Cool. Love it. Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville was on the doorstep last year, man. They just needed to shore up some things. They had a shit ton of picks in this draft too. Their first round 27 pick was an offensive lineman, Anton Harrison. Perfect. And then they went tight end, Brenton Strange, which is a little bit of a strange pick because of that franchise tag they have on their tight end out there. Oh my God, why is it the names all? I'm so bad with names. Evan Ingram. And I think you always got to go offensive line as long as you think you're not fully there and you know you can't make a quick like a quick trade or something. Go offensive line, do it in the first round. If you have a franchise quarterback, just try and protect his ass. What do you think?
Yeah, because it's a good pick because one of their O linemen starters, Cam Robinson, got suspended. He'll be suspended
Right.
for I want to say 6 games, but I'm not sure, maybe more. But so I mean, just a perfect, he'll fit right in, cover that guy's spot while he's out.
Yep.
Um, like you said, you can never go wrong with a tackle because tackle is always going to be the cornerstone of your franchise because you're always going to need one. It's going to protect your
Yep.
quarterback. It's like goes hand in hand with the quarterback. And I
100%.
like their pick, Tank Bigsby, because ETN is
Yep.
he's a good running back, but he's just a smaller running back. He just seems like a smaller, doesn't seem like he's meant for a whole like huge workload, you know what I mean?
Yep.
He seems like he needs someone, he's probably best with like complimenting someone. He seems like someone that's like a Reggie Bush who needs like get his name, something white to compliment him. It can't just be
Yeah.
two different styles of running the football, you know what I mean?
No, they did well. They did well. I like it. B plus for me for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I'll second that. I second that.
All right, Kansas City Chiefs, your ultimate
F
enemies. Ultimate enemies, the ultimate
F
enemy of the Brandon Guillory here. He will never ever say a good word about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Zero class. Travis Kelce spiked the fucking Lombardi Trophy. Zero class, dude.
Zero fucking class. Fuck the Chiefs. I'm with you. Their first round pick, Felix Anduki Uzama, defensive end. And then they went Rashee Rice, wide receiver in the second round. Wana Morris. Any receiver, I would say, going to Kansas City must just have a fucking smile on their face. They're just like, yes.
Seriously.
Like, just yeah,
Seriously.
even if I don't play all I get to see just fucking greatness every day in practice and be like, it's just he's that good. But anyways, the Kansas City Chiefs they filled some holes. They did lose Frank Thomas, so this pick was obviously in correlation to that. I'm gonna give them a B minus.
Only really pick I really like was kind of like the upside of Rasheed Rice. Other than that, I don't,
I agree.
whatever. I'm just gonna give them what they probably deserve, an F minus.
F minus. Moving on. You know the hate. It's real. It's real. The Las Vegas Raiders. Dog shit at drafting. They did draft DeMarcus Russell, if we all remember that, folks. Their first pick was the seventh pick. It was Tyree Wilson, defensive end. And then they went Michael Mayer. I believe that's in the Notre Dame product. I'm not sure, but it could be. Tight end. They did lose Darren Waller in the offseason to the Giants. So, they were looking to fill that void. And maybe they had Michael Mayer on their docket from a while back that they just felt comfortable making that move earlier in the year. So it all comes back around. Raiders, I like what you did. I'm giving you a B plus.
Yeah, the Michael Mayer was a big need for them, a big hole because they lost Darren Waller, and then also I forget what illness Foster Moreau came down with, but he's gonna be gone for the whole season. I imagine it's like a serious illness. I forget what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they definitely Michael Mayer being like top 3 rated tight end going to this draft class is definitely a good pickup. And then Tyree Wilson is a big if. He his measurables are all there, right? Perfect. He's a fucking like 6'7", like 285, 280, fucking huge. But we'll just see if it can all come together. But other than that, like on paper, he could be a fucking monster. Like between him and Max, it'd be fucking crazy. But we'll see if it all comes together.
Okay. What do you give him?
I give him I'll give him a B.
B. Okay.
Yeah. B.
No bias on this one, Brandon. Damn it. Los Angeles Chargers.
A plus.
Los Angeles Chargers. Quentin Johnston, right out of TCU. Last time we seen a TCU receiver drafted high, it was Jalen Reagor, folks. Not to spook you or anything, but you do have a little bit of a different quarterback situation going on right now with Herbs. And you just have two savages already on that team as wide receiver. So that was just the rich getting richer out there. And then Tui Pulatu, outside linebacker, another one, just a good fit. They'll go right with Kendricks that you just signed from the Vikings. So I'm giving your Chargers a B for this draft.
Come on, man. Come on, bro.
I want to get the honesty out of you, damn it, Brandon. Did you or did you not sleep with that woman?
Okay. I'll be honest. I was filming my reaction for our first pick, and this is my reaction. I was like, but then the more and more I looked into like the pick and like how he's gonna play in this offense, I started to like Quentin Johnson more and more and more.
Okay.
He's gonna be able to learn from Mike Williams, and the reason why I didn't like it originally is because he's kind of like the same kind of like quote unquote like composition receiver as Mike Williams.
Yeah, I hear you.
And we just signed him last year, so we're obviously not getting rid of him. We're trying to potentially move off of Keenan Allen. So that's why I wanted Jordan Addison, more of like a slot kind of guy.
Right.
But I just feel like he'll add an extra weapon to this already going to be high part off of Kellen Moore. I just think.
I agree.
I'm not gonna try to sell anyone on it, but I just think he could have a good season next year. And then Tuli Tulipa, I don't know. I'm just calling him
Tui.
Guy from USC. He led the nation in sacks, but then again he's playing the Pac-12. So I mean, not to say much. He's playing the Pac-10.
Right.
Dylan Haney, it's good. Good linebacker pickup. He's a little old. He's a little undersized, but I think he was PFF's #1 rated linebacker.
Okay.
But like I said, I think I texted you this. They were trying to. This draft is like, I think I also saw a video like this draft. It's like the Chargers were trying to like, almost like seemed like they were like a year ahead for this draft. They were trying to pick a lot of positions that they're going to be getting rid of next year, like wide receiver. Going to be probably moving off from Keenan Allen next year. Outside linebacker, we're probably going to be moving off from Khalil Mack next year.
Got it.
Inside linebacker, we might not be signing Kenneth Murray next year. So it's like, and then Darius Davis is like, we need a speedster. We lost, I don't know if Guyton's still on our team, Guyton towards ACL last year, but we had no vertical threat really after Guyton got hurt. So, I mean.
Right.
And then the Max Duggan fucking pick is just, I fucking love it just because, I mean, you don't have to have Chase Daniels anymore. And then, he's a guy who's got that dog in him, certified dog.
Certified.
It'd be a nice solid backup. I'll give us Chargers no homer pick, but I'll give them A-.
Okay. Yeah, I think fit. Future casting, kind of looking at what you got on the books and what's going to be kind of taken off.
Yeah. Only thing I would say, I would have loved for us to draft a fucking running back. We didn't draft one running back, which is kind of alarming. I kind of blame the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks sniped us twice in this draft.
Jigba.
They sniped us with Jackson, and they sniped us with fucking Zach Charlemagne. For what? I was so mad when they fucking took Zach Charlemagne 2 picks before us because they already have Kenneth Walker. I was like, what are you doing?
Yep.
I'm almost positive we would have took him if he was still there.
Goddamn. Fucking Seahawks, man. Okay.
Fucks.
A-. Hey, man, that's not even a homer pick. You succinctly explained yourself there, Brandon, so I appreciate you. Los Angeles Rams, you've been giving up a lot of picks to not have too many. Your first pick came in the 2nd round, and then you had a ton of the 6th and 7th and 5th round. So I don't know too much, but I know that you did need an offensive lineman to go and help you Stafford just a little bit more. So you going out and getting offensive guard Steve Avila with your first pick in the 2nd round. Good job. And then you get a D end with your 2 picks in the 3rd round, Brian Young and Kobe Turner. I think it's perfect. I think as you look at the Rams, you got to understand it's chip by chip by chip by chip. They're not going to get back to that just like pizzazz where they were. They got to get. Like, they lost Von Miller. You have Aaron Donald kind of slowing down a little bit. You had some of those bigger names that were there, and just it's a different thing now. So you got to really hone in on what you do best, and maybe you're going to pop again. But for now, I'm going to give you a C plus.
I don't really know anything about people they drafted.
Yeah.
But besides Stetson Bennett, and because they got Stetson Bennett, I'm gonna give him a B plus just because of Stetson.
Good job, really. Stenson. You just saved their draft grade, Stetson Bennett. You little motherfucker.
You little rascal.
I think he is the perfect guy in Matt Stafford to learn behind.
Yeah.
Cool. Miami Dolphins. They didn't have much picks, man. 4 picks. Second round, third round, 6 and 7. First pick, second round, 51st pick. Cam Smith, cornerback. And then they went running back with Devon Achane. I think it's Achane. Yeah, Achane, third round pick. Was it? Achane. Oh, fuck. I don't even know what the hell's going on. But all I know is the Dolphins.
They had 4 picks. Holy fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
They didn't have to do anything. They just fucking breeze for them.
So, I don't know. I mean, Cam Smith, I don't know too much about. I'm gonna give you a fucking C minus. That's all I'm gonna do. C minus.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B minus just because you don't have that many picks. I do love the A-Chain pick. A-Chain will be a good. He's like essentially gonna be a younger, better Raheem Mostert, and so I feel like he'll fit perfectly into the offense.
I'm going to read this about Smith real quick before we just move on from the Miami Dolphins. Smith is one of the most reliable cover corners in 2023 class. He's smooth with excellent foot speed and fluid hips. He's highly instinctive and frequently gets early jumps on the ball by reading quarterback's eyes. He's a ball hawk with soft hands who elevates well. He's versatile and has experience playing on the boundary and in the slot or safety. South Carolina usually produces some like just dogs in the sense of like they might not be the best cover corners, but they're going to hit you in the mouth. So that could be just some toughness coming there to Miami. Moving on, Minnesota Vikings. Jordan Addison, wide receiver. I believe is he a USC product? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir.
He was. So USC product to go alongside Jay Jettas, who they just picked up the 5th round pick. Those two outside might just be, I mean, it could be lights out for a lot of corners coming up against the Minnesota Vikings next year. And Kirk Cousins, if you get your shit together, boy, you could throw for a grip of yards. So they are, I mean, they already were all in on Justin Jefferson, but it could be more so than ever. They're adding on with Hawkinson already there. If they can get the running backs to still continue to play well, then those fucking Vikings could be good. But my bold pick of the year was already that the Vikings are going to miss the playoffs, and this kind of seems like a little bit towards that way. They have so much need on the defensive end, and they spend their fucking first pick on another receiver. I don't know about you, so I'm going to give you a C minus.
Yeah, they definitely did need something on the defense side of the ball. But Jordan Addison is going to be a great compliment to Jefferson. He's going to be stepping and be the number 2 receiver day one. It's only really the only pick I really like for them. I'll probably give it just a B.
Okay. Minnesota, this is going to be an interesting year for you all. And Kevin O'Donnell, you got to understand that defense will get you to the promised land. So don't just put all your chips on the offense. Moving on. New England Patriots, Christian Gonzalez, corner. I hear he plays really his best defense when it's man. And what does the Patriots really love to do is play some man and versions of man to disguise things. So this was like perfect for the Bill Belichick defense for what they want to do scheme-wise. Keon White, another defensive end. Then they went linebacker. And then they went Jake Andrews on the offensive line in the 4th round. So this is what I'm telling. Like every time I see a New England Patriots draft spread, it is always looking just heavy defense. Give me some guards. They even got a fucking kicker, for God's sakes, in the 4th round. So it's always a little eclectic, giving you an A, flat A, New England Patriots. Congratulations. You could be starting to make some noise here again pretty soon here, Bill Belichick. We see you.
Yeah. Yeah, great. They got a great value pick. Christian Gonzalez, probably second rated second highest rated cornerback in the draft.
Yep.
Like you said, like it's just a staple like Patriots draft defensive players
Yep.
and O line, and then they'll sprinkle in a little bit of receivers, which are probably not going to be good.
I'd be
But
complete at.
also I give them a boost to their score because of Belichick's scheming games for the trade he made.
Yep.
He bumped out, or you fucking traded his pick
So
the
the
Steelers,
Jets.
right? A pick before the Jets, and
Yeah.
took the old and let them take the O lineman that the Jets were gonna take.
Yes. Pittsburgh got the offensive lineman, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That
fucking
was
easy dub. So, but for that, I'll give him an A.
fuck yeah, Billy Goat. You get an A, baby. Moving on. New Orleans Saints. First round pick, defensive tackle Brian Breesy, Isaiah Hosky, defensive end. New Orleans Saints know that they're going to need a little more help on the defensive end. Their front line is still stacked with Cam Johnson and some of those boys, but it never hurts to have some extra ammo. And I've been hearing some good shit about Kendre Miller. We all know about late round running backs. It's where a lot of the NFL teams kind of get their most out of those guys. So I think Kendre could come in and really spell their starter out there, and could be some good stuff coming through New Orleans with the addition of Carr as well. Could be a fun year. What do you think?
Yeah, I think. Fuck, did I pass them? Sure, I was looking at them. I'm like,
Yeah. Alvin Kamara, you were gonna still obviously take the bulk of the carries, but Kendre Miller.
yeah, Kendre Miller. Yeah, that's a good pickup for sure. A.T. Perry too. Wait, good 6 round pick. A.T. Perry should be a good receiver. He'll help complement that receiving core, especially if Mike Thomas isn't on the fucking field again, like he always is.
Uh-huh.
I give him a solid B plus.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give them a B. Yeah, I'm gonna give them a B. All right. New York Giants. Deontay Banks, you took a corner with your first round pick, 24th pick, Deontay Banks, and then you took a center with John Michael Schmitz. And I feel like that's the most center name ever, John Michael Schmitz. I already just trust him
Whole
with
bowler.
football, and I want him to start. John Michael Schmitz. Wow, what a
Whole
fucking
bowler within 1 year.
What's that?
I said Pro Bowler within 1 year.
Yeah, it's me. John Michael Schmidt's fucking jerseys are gonna be flying off the shelves. Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver from the third round, 73rd pick. You know what, Giants? I already like what you did with the first 2 picks. John Michael Schmidt alone saves your draft. I'm giving you a B plus for you getting the corner because you did have a little hard time stopping and slowing down some of the high octane wide receivers. Specifically, Philly just ate against you. No homer shit. That's just statistically we kicked your ass. And then you got a center because again, offensive line is key, especially when you just paid all that money to Danny Dimes. So I'm gonna give you a B plus.
I'm gonna give him an A minus. I like their draft.
Fuck yeah. Good job, Giants. Brian Dayball, continue that shit, man. Continue it. I dare you. Philly, we're not scared of you motherfuckers. I'm telling you. Eagles, we're too good. New York Jets, what a change of events, man. You are the proud owners of a brand new Aaron Rodgers. What do you do with that in your second pick, the second round? You get a center. Great job. Good job, boys. Like you're already ingratiating yourself to him. Your other pick, oh my God, here we go. Carter Warren, another offensive tackle, was your first pick in the first round. 15th pick was Will McDonald. Looks like the 5th or 4th. I don't know what the fucking IV means, but he's a defensive end to go with that stacked Jets line. New York Jets, you're going to be so much fun to watch next year. It should be interesting. A lot of different personalities. This draft tells me you really want Rodgers to be healthy, so I like it. So I'm giving you a B, just a B.
Yeah, I feel that. I think they wanted to go O lineman for their first pick, but when they got sniped, I think you're like, all right, let's just go to solid bread and butter, fucking defensive line, defense.
Because they know we have boys around them who will teach them right too, because we have just studs across the line. So can't go wrong. All right.
Yeah, I like their draft. I'll give them a B plus.
Philadelphia Eagles. I already rated you. Check out the sign behind me. But we did work on this draft. It is the Georgia Bulldogs, pretty much we just opened the door to anyone who played in Georgia and was on that just legendary defensive team and just said, hey, you're coming to Philly now. We move up one spot. We leapfrog the Bears and we go get Jalen Carter, who was renowned, I know, by Mel Kiper. He was saying that he was originally his first rated player in this draft for a while before the whole incident happened in the car and all that stuff. So, and then you go out and you get the fast. He ran a 4.3. Nolan Smith ran a 4.3. You're gonna have him coming off the edge with what already the Eagles have there. Like those first two picks were studly, absolutely studly. And then you go out. We need another offensive lineman because we already have some older, aging guys on that line who just probably have a year or two left. So you go get Tyler Steen. Great job, Howie. You go get a safety in Sidney Brown. I love it. You go Kylie Ringo, corner. A plus. Can I give you your flowers? A plus. Good job, Howie. We've all forgiven you for the Jalen Reagor pick. We forgive you for getting pushed out by Chip Kelly during that time. You're a Philly man now. Thank you, Howie. I'm done.
Thank you, Howie. Thank you, man. I think these picks are all just fucking great, dude. Great value too.
Yeah.
The first two picks are just absolute great value. I had mocked Jalen Carter going to the Eagles. I thought he was going to drop a little bit, and I thought that'd be a perfect fit for him.
Yep.
I think this really is like the SEC North right here, Philadelphia. Like Georgia, Alabama, Georgia, Texas. Texas not an SEC, but might as well be. It's soon to be in the SEC, actually. I think. But I think it was a perfect landing spot for Carter because he's gonna have his boys around. They're not gonna be afraid of fucking. Hey, bro, get your shit to fucking together. I love that they're with isn't the Kobe Dean?
Yup.
Because when he was on their defense last year, before he got drafted to the Eagles, he was like the fucking captain of that defense. So you think he's not gonna be afraid to fucking crack into Jalen Carter if he's fucking around or he's getting fucking fat? Like he's gonna be fucking on his ass. And on top of that, gonna have fucking Fletcher Cox teaching them. I think it's a great fit for Nolan Smith. And like they said, Jalen Carter's comp is Fletcher Cox, and then Nolan Smith's comp is fucking Hassan Reddick. So it's like perfect, dude. Fucking learn from fucking the masters.
Let's go, baby. Philly
A plus. Guess her grade on
PFF. What is it?
A plus, bro.
A plus, Philly Eagles. I'm not even homering. This was seriously an impressive draft. You did your thing. You made smart moves. You moved up when you're supposed to. You did just the right thing with the Chicago Bears. Like everything was so great. Howie, thank you. You know how to work it. Congratulations, Philly. We could really have set our ground for just a really, really, really good defensive line for years to come. I'm stoked as a fan. And now let's just go win one, baby. Let's go win one. I know Brandon here really wants the Chargers to win one. So there's going to be a lot of times where we're just like, come on. Anyways, A pluses all around. A pluses. We're going. We're moving. Pittsburgh Steelers. They, like we talked about earlier, they leapfrogged the Jets with some help from the Patriots and got Broderick Jones, offensive tackle, big man. One of the he was one of the stars coming into the draft, and he's going to be protecting Pickett. So it's a good pick already. We are team offensive linemen here on the TA Certified podcast. Joey Porter Jr., you saw the little emotional video he had with his dad. He was supposed to go in the first round. He was all dressed up, and he goes in the second. But you know what? That can breed some serious tenacity in a player. So Joey Porter Jr. was another really good pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Keanu Benton and Darnell Washington. I just think the Steelers had a really good draft. I give them an A minus.
Yeah, I love their draft. You got Darnell Washington, fucking absolute physical freak. Those who's fucking 6'8", Tyler. 6'8", 272, bro. Fuck. Just fucking throw it. You know, fucking catch it, bro. Just fucking, Jesus Christ. I'll just make it short and simple. I give him an A. I think they had a really good draft.
Love it. Yeah, we could look back and be like, oh man, there's some really solid mainstay players 4 years down the line and be like, oh, they came from the 2023 draft, you know?
Yeah.
San Francisco 49ers. I think we got a couple more teams here. San Francisco their first round pick wasn't until the third round, or their first pick wasn't until the third round. And it was a safety. And then their second pick in the third round was a kicker. And then they went tight end. So you're already telling me you took a kicker. I'm giving you a C minus already. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say on this one. I really
Yeah,
don't.
I have much to say on each other. I'll give him a C.
Yeah. Like there's hubris here. That smells like hubris. You still have some things you need to clear up, offensive line wise, and maybe even a little bit on the defensive line position, because a lot of what you came from with your a lot of the work that came out of there sack wise was from Nick Bosa. So you need to get more. You need to get more leverage instead of getting a fucking kicker. C minus. Anything else on that one?
No, I don't got nothing on those.
Seattle Seahawks, we talked about this. These guys did some absolute work. First pick, fifth pick, or sorry, first round, fifth pick, Devin Witherspoon, cornerback. Then they went with the 20th pick in the first round, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and the 37th pick in the second round, Derek Hall. And then with the 52nd pick in the second round, Charbonnet. And he's a running back out of UCLA who seems like a mauler. Like it's gonna be interesting there when they when they already have Kenneth Walker there. So with the first two picks in the corner and the receiver, I absolutely love to go on the other side of what they already have, a star on their cornerback position for the Seattle, and then to go with that fucking wide receiver core. I give them an A.
Yeah, they had probably one of the best drafts besides the Eagles in this draft. Witherspoon's gonna be he's gonna be a dog. Jackson Smith is gonna be a great, especially with Lockett and Metcalf. Before Lockett leaves, they're gonna be nasty on the receiving side.
They are.
And then I feel like their center that they guard, I heard of their center that they got in the fifth. He has a real potential to be a starter for this team. So I think, and then even their running back they got, even though they added two running backs, I heard this guy, is it McIntosh?
Okay.
So he could be a potential third down running back. He has some good hands, I heard. So
Andy McIntosh. Hey.
I think I'll probably give them an A. I think I like their draft.
Seattle, you did a really good job. I think Smith and Jigba can be I think he could be offensive rookie of the year this year. I have a feeling this cat with on the long side of that like DK Metcalf. Like there's gonna be so many eyes on him, and then you have Tyler Lockett, and then you're just gonna have this burner coming in with really good hands, really really good hands. So good job Seattle. Moving on, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their first pick with the 19th pick, Kalijah Cansey, defensive tackle. Then they went offensive guard with the 48th pick in the second round. 82nd pick in the third round, Yaya Diaby.
I love it.
So,
yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Tampa Bay, good job, but I feel like there's not much life around just that team right now. But what do you think?
Yeah. It seems like I love the first pick, Kalijah Cansey. You know, I love this draft because all these players aren't going to help them win next year. So I know they're going to be good players, but they're not going to help them win next year. So you know what? Next year they're still going to they're going to have a good ass fucking pick next year.
Yeah,
I think Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be the bottom quarter of the league next year.
yeah. Like
they're gonna. I mean, they're already played super sloppy last year, and that's with Tom. You think, now that Tom's gone, they'll be loosey goosey, you know? And if they get hurt and they're injured, it's gonna be it's gonna be ugly there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a down year for them.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll give them because the players are gonna be good, but not gonna help them win the team. I'll give them B plus.
Okay. All right. I think I'm a B too. Yeah, because your boys are gonna be playing. Welcome to the league, motherfuckers. All right, Tennessee Titans. It's an interesting one. You went Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle, which I get because Ryan Tannehill has taken some hits, and Tennessee needed a little bit of a revamp with some of the offensive linemen they let go during the offseason. And then you spent your second pick, the 33rd pick, on Will Levis, and you traded up to get the man. That one could come back and be a good pick by the Tennessee Titans, and I feel like that is a Titan. But there is some serious red flags, and there's a reason he fell the way he did in the draft. So one thing I will say is congratulations, Will Levis. Your girlfriend is absolute dime. What a dime piece. You, my friend,
Oh my god.
sat down, homie.
You're winning on and off the field, my guy.
You win it on and off. Tennessee, you better coach this kid up right. He needs to really understand that even though he can throw 60 yards on his fucking knees, that doesn't help him cut up and dive up in defense and hit a player in stride with their fucking cornerback breathing down his neck 40 yards down the field. So I think there's a little bit of maturation process that's going to go into it. And it'll be fun to see how Malik Willis even handles it. So it's going to be fun in games in Tennessee. I give their draft I give them a C plus. C plus. I liked it. I didn't love it.
The man needs to know what goes in and what doesn't go in coffee, bro. That's all I gotta say. But I love it. I like the top 3 picks. I love them. I'll give them a B minus.
Okay. Okay. To round it out, always the last people that we talk about. Washington Commanders. With the 16th pick in the first round, the Washington Commanders select Emmanuel Forbes, quarterback. And then in the second round, the 47th pick, Jartavius Martin. And then they went Ricky Stromberg. And that was cornerback, safety, center, and went offensive tackle, defensive back, running back, linebacker. What a colorful palette of picks the Washington Commanders went with. I know that they did have some corner issues last year, trading one of their better ones mid-year, and also getting one from the Pittsburgh Steelers and ended up cutting him too. So I like the corner. I like the safety pick. I like the center pick. I'm giving you B+, Washington Commanders.
Yeah. I thought the Emmanuel Forbes one, I don't know. I didn't love it. I think he was the best. He had a lot of interceptions last year, but as far as a whole, full quarterback, I don't think he was the best. I thought Gonzalez was better than him. But I mean, whenever they saw him, they must have liked him. I mean, I don't hate their picks. I'd probably give him a B+.
I agree. It's a good, not great draft. Good, not great, right?
Yeah. Exactly. It's kind of the same thing as the Buccaneers. They don't want to make them
exactly
where they're going to affect right away because they want to have big picks next year. You know what I mean?
This draft was fun. There was a ton of trades, first round and beyond. There wasn't trades in the sense of like an AJ Brown when he went to the Eagles. I kind of was talking to you offline, Bgilly, and we were talking about maybe Hopkins maybe making a move somewhere else during the draft. That never came to fruition. But this is how it's going to kind of be more and more as just the NFL and just how owners are. They need to get the best of the deal, and they want to, impress the league, impress their constituents, and just get the best team. So we're going to continue to see just like hype and draft coverage, hype and draft picks, a lot of trading, a lot of stuff going on. And I love it. As a fan, I think it's always like, as much as the first round can be cringe and the second rounds are cringes and all that, just the whole process of the draft, it's a culmination of so much work that goes into by all sorts of people in an organization. And I love it. I love NFL. They have my heart. Brandon. What do you think? What any more you have to say before we ride out?
Yeah, I really feel like the draft adds an extra just factor of drama. It's an extra the beginning of the story to the entire NFL season. You know what I mean?
It's such a good
It's the first chapter of the story.
First chapter, yes. It's like a good first chapter. Like everything's so fresh. Everyone's just like, oh my God, look at our draft picks. We're all gonna be so. And then the reality of it all hits. Dun dun dun.
Exactly.
It's real. So we're gonna ride out to this song, and folks, we'll catch you because this has been the TA Certified Podcast. We appreciate you for always